Hey, Shalom, Akim. It's your brother Raza Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Achak Hadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, and blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. A recipe for disaster, man. All that chaos scenario has just been happening over here in the UK as due to this overcrowding situation in the prisons. You know, the HMPs and all of that. They've decided to release 1,700 prisoners early to quell the overcrowding of these prisoners in these cells, basically, because of recent situations regarding immigration and so-called riotous type behavior. You know, during the EDO riots a couple of weeks ago to a month ago over here in the UK, where a lot of people been arrested and it's been overcrowding in the prisons. So now they've released most of these 1,700 prisoners that were on the books or already in the system. They've been had early release, and you see videos out there of Jake basically and other nations interacting and celebrating their early release. Now, what is this all about? This is all about order out of chaos, man. Anarchy in the streets of the UK, man, or the streets of London. You know, because this is gonna be a scenario where these so-called criminals, you know, are gonna be able to carry out a lot more of their illegal activities and not be prosecuted in future events, because it's coming to that time where Esau is going to get more lawless out here, because Esau is basically the judicial system can't deal with the overcrowding of criminals being basically put into the system and booked and put into their jails and all that so-called so forth. Similar situation with the Venezuelan gangs over there in America right now, different states taking over Chicago, Colorado, as they was reporting, so on and so forth, taking over people's buildings with, weapons and so on and so forth. Similar situation. Why? Because it's an order ab chaos scenario that's being orchestrated by the wicked elite. This is called left-hand business right here, and it's a recipe for disaster, because all these criminals are going to go back to doing their criminal ways, basically. They have a legal right to do what they're given rights, basically, to go and, do what they used to do and not deal with the consequences, or, have to deal with the martial law type scenario when that comes in the near coming future. Because it's going to be all that. It's going to be all that out of the chaos. It's going to be chaos and anarchy in the streets again. Crime rates are going to go up, skyrocketing again. Murders and ravishing of women and so on and so forth. And it's in the scriptures, man. We're in that time. Sedition amongst men. And this is just like a script out of the Dark Knight movie. The Batman saga. The Dark Knight Rises. It's a script out of that scene, out of that movie with Bane. When there's a scene where Bane, so-called villain of the movie, and really he's the hero. He basically breaks out a lot of prisoners out of the prisons, and they have to go to the fight in the streets against the police, the Arkham Police Squad, or the police of Gotham City, and they're basically a scenario of sedition amongst men, and Bane standing in the middle and it saying, none shall interfere, it's yours, take the kingdom, basically type scenario. So straight up seditious and riotous behavior, and that's what all this is going to lead to, man. These prisoners being released early, it's going to set up for seditious type behavior, or when there's more riots and all of that, there's going to be give free reign for more criminal activity, looting, shooting and polluting, as I would call it, So this is a recipe for disaster. Not going to make this long, but this is all orchestrated by the wicked elite. As it tells you in Job 15 and 34, that mischief is in their belly. And Micah 2 tells you that, this is the power's been given into these devils' hands to, orchestrate all these wicked events on the face of the earth. Because, the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai gave him the power to rule the earth right now in his stead. Job 9 and 24, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. So, these devils are going to use their blessings, so to speak, of deceivement, manipulation, and the sword ultimately the sword, which is the modern day gun, and that nuclear power, the ICBM missiles, to their advantage, man, So this is all, a sword is being sharpened, man, and also furbished. Ezekiel 21:9, and one of the main scriptures I always read in regarding to the times that we're coming into, man. These devils are setting up for a great slaughter. And as you can see, Jake in the middle there in the picture with his hoodie on and all that, celebrate, happy as hell that he got an early release. But this is what's going to be prime, time for Jake, because Esau's going to have his eyes on Jake. And as I said, Ezekiel 21:9 talks about there's going to be a great slaughter of the tribes, a sore slaughter, because Esau has perfected and furbished his weaponry. So in the time of martial law, Esau's going to come down upon Jacob, man, which goes entails in what? Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30:7, man. So we're in some seditious times, anarchy, chaos, and all the chaos scenarios are definitely on the horizons, man. So I'm just going to read one or two precepts, not going to make this too long. But 2nd Ezra 15 is definitely coming into play right now. All across the board, man. You're over there in America, definitely, and over here in the shores of the UK too. So 2nd Ezra 15, I'm going to straight to the point from verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. And the word woe means destruction. These are the times of the set perils that the scriptures talk about being unleashed on the world. This is verse 15. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one it's lucky, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So it's going to get lawless out here. Over there, they've seen the videos, the so-called Venezuelan gangs, the different gangs over there with armaments, with weaponry and all that, so modern day sword, shield and buckler regarding the modern day weapon of the gun, and the Second Amendment rights and being ready to execute those rights, man, to take over people's blocks, so to speak. And then you got the Harley Davidson gangs and so on and so forth, and their armaments and so on and so forth. So it's getting very seditious, man. It's getting very riotous. Racial tensions is building, and ultimately it's going to be more civil unrest, leading to civil war. That's going to break out over there in America and over here in the UK too, by the looks of things. Verse 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another." Ain't that happening over there in Chicago and all that? Ain't Jake's invading other residences, buildings in Colorado and so on and so forth, in New York? So first, there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And it's going to only increase. These are the beginning of the sorrows, all these early prison releases and so on and so forth. This is the beginning of more sorrows, basically. And Jacob's trouble is definitely at hand. The time of Jacob's trouble is definitely at hand. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able." I said that could be due to either pestilences being broken out, quarantine zones set up, or the smart cities that Esau is getting ready to set up, which the word smart is the acronym meaning surveillance, manageable, research, analysis, if I'm not mistaken. It's a surveillance, management, analysis, reporting technology, Salakia, if I'm saying it properly. But it's all about surveilling the citizens in them smart cities, using the smart technologies, and ultimately by you putting in biometric devices, which this is all leading into what? Putting biometric devices in the citizens, in the immigrants and the migrants, so on and so forth, to track and trace everyone on the face of the earth. Because what's going to be the solution out of the order? What's going to be the order out of this chaos of the over immigration and the overcrowding of prisons and so on and so forth? The CHIP. Esau's pushing for digital IDs. All throughout the next couple of months, these different countries are pushing for digital IDs and so on and so forth. So ultimately, it's going to be what? The CHIP, man. Revelations 13:16 and 17. Like, we can't be ignorant in these last days, man. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. 2 Corinthians 2:11. The average citizens that are ignorant. The people that just look at this like this is just a scenario that people are getting released early and so on and so forth. But they don't understand that there's a bigger picture, man, to this whole scenario, all that chaos scenario, man. And Esau wants to see hip everyone so they can track and trace, so there won't be no need for no overcrowding and so on and so forth. And even furthermore, Esau can start putting people in them concentration camps, because that's ultimately what he's going to do anyway in the time of Jacob's trouble, which I'm going to read in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, the next verse. Next chapter, Salakia. After I read this verse here, it's verse 18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, Jacob's trouble. The houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. Yeah, we're coming to that time. And you women are going to be afraid too. Because now you're getting all these prisoners getting released early. A lot of these men, haven't had a piece of meat for a long time, man. So in that time of civil unrest and lawlessness, more lawlessness in the streets, a lot of these women, like it tells you in Isaiah 13, the women are going to be getting ravished, man. Zechariah tells you as well, Zechariah 14, if I'm not mistaken, it says these women are going to get, the women of the tribes are going to be getting ravished. So it's going to get real lawless out here, real uncivilized. As I always say, it's going to go from civilized to uncivilized real quick. Verse 18 again, it says, because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, Jacob's trouble. It says, the houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Yeah, these prisoners ain't going to have no pity. It says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Modern day sword is the gun. Over here, they like to use machetes and knives and all of that. In the UK, because guns are illegal. It says, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So as these things are, the evils are multiplying, as it says in the scriptures, the same chapter, 2nd Ezra 16, there's going to be a scenario where famine is going to increase, pestilences are going to increase, and more lawlessness. As the scripture says, evil shall multiply. So then, these people are going to be more heartless, man. The love of many shall wax cold, as the scriptures say. And I'm just going to read this real quick. I'm just going to jump around. Second Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me. Once again, woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? What days, man? The days that we're living in right now. The times of Jacob's trouble. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Yeah, these are the beginning of sorrows. Like it tells you in Matthew, the 24th chapter. It says the beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. It says the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And this is what exactly is getting ready to happen, man. And it's happening as we speak. Right now, breaking news, 1,700 prisoners are being released into the streets of the UK. Or back into the streets of the UK. So expect for more hell to break loose. So expect for more looting. Expect for more civil unrest. And expect the crime rate to skyrocket higher than ever before, man. Because Esau's purposely using that so he can bring in this order through the chaos. The Hegelian dialectic, man, It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So this is the judgment of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua upon this wicked ass society. And that's just showing you how this place is decaying. And the worm is spread under thee, like it tells you in Isaiah 14, regarding the corrosion of these cities, and the mindset and the economy, so on and so forth, financially. These kingdoms are destroyed, man, The Lord is slowly but surely destroying these kingdoms, internally, So, and that, especially over there in Babylon the Great, aka America, but modern day Great Britain is also, which is also the mother of that harlot that sitteth upon many waters, America, is also going to crumble and decay, which represents the UK. It says, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges. So, the 2/3 are just going to carry on until they're destroyed, basically. So the Lord's using them to bring forth, judgment, and they're going to be judged as well as being wicked in these last days. But they're going to be part of the corrosion and the reason why this place is going to, basically break out and all turn out into war zones, basically, across the shores. Let me jump down. Verse 22 says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, lack of food, lack of resources. It says, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Yeah, the time of Jacob's trouble, sedition amongst men, civil unrest, civil war. And America's definitely going to break out in civil war. because you got all these different gangs and so on and so forth getting ready for that type of action when it permits, especially during the election. Whether it's Kamala Harris or Trump that stays in office, or whether he gets arrested or something before the election takes place. Who knows? But either way, America's gonna break out into a war zone. So that's definitely the time when all this is gonna arise more and more. Let me just jump down for the sake of time. Yep. And Esau is going to lock people up and then put them people in the internment camps, man. He's going to put people in them so-called re-education camps for what? To take forth for this biometric device, this implant known as the C-hip, man. The MOT to the B. So that would, deal with the overcrowding and all of that when he puts all these people in them concentration camps, man. It's verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, forcefully arrest people, and feed you, being idle with things offered into idols. In them concentration camps, what they call re-education camps, so on and so forth. Imprisonment camps, basically, for the overcrowding. And Esau's got a lot of space to put these people in, man. These different stadiums and so on and so forth. All these new development type buildings, with extra security, So Esau's already planned for this, man. This is nothing just out of the blue. Esau's been planning for this for a long time. This is what they call Ordo Abkeo, as I've been saying throughout the whole video. It says 69, it says, and they that consent unto them. Who's going to consent unto these wicked elite? By way of the martial law troops and so on and so forth, and their so-called physicians. The physicians are no value. Talking about these doctors out here that are going to be administering the MOT to the B and these C-hips in those different internment camps. The day that give consent unto them, you're going to have to give your consent like they did with the whole CV, extravaganza, pandemic, when it was making it mandatory for people to take the serpent's poison, otherwise they couldn't function in society. They couldn't go back to their jobs, so on and so forth. The same thing's going to happen with the C-hip. But it's going to be worse because obviously Esau's going to make it where it's going to be life detrimental. Your back's going to be against the wall, and people are going to be dying left, right, and center. People are going to be forced to take it, basically. And they that give consent unto them shall be had in derision, which is the 2/3. It says all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that shall perish. And that's talking about the 2/3, man, because they receive not the love of this truth. 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, tells you. It says them shall be had in derision and in reproach and be trodden underfoot. So anyone that takes to that C-hip technology, don't think that's going to lead to your salvation. You're just going to be catching more hell, and even nuclear hell, when that nuclear fire touches your ass and burns you alive before Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and the holy angels when he returns. Revelations 14 and verse 9 and 10. For anyone that takes to that C-hip technology, the MOT to the B. And this is why we're always pushing the topic of the MOT to the B, because this is a major prophecy that's going to take part, that's going to have to take place, and it's going to take place and manifest as we speak right now. It's happening, man. And that's why it's getting ready to be made mandatory in the near coming future, man. It could be weeks to months, because Esau's pushing forth for these digital IDs, man. They want to number the children of Israel. They want to number the people on the face of the earth, which is against the scriptures. But Esau's the devil that the Bible speaks of, so he's going to do everything in his power through the spiritual demon Satan on the left-hand side to number the people by way of these biometric devices, man. And the 2/3, as I said, they're going to fall into that snare and be destroyed by a nuclear fire when the Lord returns in the midst of World War III. And so, because you have to give consent, man. You're going to have to pledge allegiance to this devil, make a blood oath to take that C-hip technology, man. And 2/3 are going to take that oath. The only ones that's going to resist unto death is the elect. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So this is all domino effects, man. This is all leading to the demonization of the men of the Lord, the dysfunctional society, the degradation and, demolishing, the orchestrating and demolished society by the wicked elite so they can bring forth their so-called new world of disorder, as I call it, and try and get the men of the Lord out of here. But the Lord said that his elect are going to be protected in these last days, even unto death, man. It says they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So this is the time of Jacob's trouble. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses, and cast them out of them prisons too, and put people in internment camps, in re-education camps, concentration camps, to be re-educated by way of the biometric implant. I don't know why it did that. Let me go back. Slack here. So this is what it's all leading to, man. The MOT to the B. That's why we have to keep pushing the major last major prophecies, especially the MOT to the B, because that's exactly what's getting ready to be unleashed on society. And only the initiated know, like Bane once said, in the same movie, Dark Knight Rises. It's the theatrics and theatricality and deception, powerful agents of to the uninitiated. So if you're uninitiated, like most of these goyim in the streets of the world, so to speak, the populace, like even within Israel, you got IUIC and they got the zombie camps and all of that that just follow their leaders blindly. The blind shall lead, if the blind shall both shall fall into a ditch. They're gonna get caught out there because they're none the wiser, man. They don't understand the times that we're living in, and their leaders, are not telling them and warning them of the impending doom, the danger that's coming upon them regarding the MOT to the B, the mandatory hipping on the people of the earth, So a lot of people are going to get caught out there, man. Only the elect are going to be, preserved for that salvation, basically, while the rest are going to be blinded, because the Lord is basically not coming to deliver all Israel. He's only coming to deliver the elect. So it's a very pivotal time in history, man. So this is why it's imperative that you're supposed to teach 100% truth. Don't shun to profess the whole gospel. But this is only given to the true men of the Lord, to disperse this truth. Starting with the great men, the renowned men, starting from the apostles and elders of great millstone, man, on brothers on down. So for they shall waste away and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses, then shall they be known who are my chosen. Yeah, who's going to be known? The elect. Why? Because they're going to resist taking the hip technology even unto death. It says, and they shall be tried as gold, as in the fire. It's lucky, they should be tried as the gold in the fire, which is going into what? The hour of temptation, man. That trial, man, that final test. And only the elect are going to pass with flying colors, man. Even certain men are going to be beheaded and made martyrs, Revelations 20 and verse 4, for being a witness of this truth. But they're still going to be delivered. They're going to be the first beamed up into the chariots when the Lord returns with the so-called UFOs, man. The chariots of our salvation. Chariots of Israel. The dead in Yahweh Shai shall rise first. So that trial is definitely on the horizons, man. The hour of temptation. No one's going to be able to escape that trial. Man, woman, or child, man. Everyone's going to be tested, basically, I'm saying. But the only ones that's going to escape being caught in that snare is the elect. Here, verse 74, I'll close out on this. Hear, O ye my beloved. Another word for beloved is the house of David. Because David's name means beloved in the Hebrew. So hear ye, O my beloved, the elect, basically, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand. Jacob's trouble is at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Yep. So that's it, man. So this is what it's coming down to, man. This is the bigger picture, man. A recipe for disaster, as I said. Can't be ignorant in these times, man. Ignorance is not going to be bliss for a lot of these people out here. But as I said, man, the Lord's only coming to deliver his elect. So we're going to keep our eyes on the prize and keep warning, until all hell breaks loose, basically. Give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, B'Chakodash, and Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.